Florida commissioner called cops on the mayor, falsely claiming she had a gun. What in the commissioner called cops on the mayor. Well, let's see who's who around here. Pembroke Park, Florida. Okay. Commissioner, oh, okay. Okay, I understand. Here's the details, folks. Pembroke Park, Florida Commissioner Geoffrey Jacobs is under fire after being accused of harassing Pembroke Park Mayor Ashira Mohammed. Atlanta Black Star reports Jacobs allegedly spread rumors accusing the mayor of stealing money and even went so far as to falsely report to the Broward Sheriff's Office she had a firearm during a public meeting on the evening of Wednesday, November 8th. I don't know what the laws are in Pembroke Park. But if we went to Michigan, I remember seeing a bunch of people armed strolling up in where the legislators were, just unbothered. But we'll stay in Florida. Let's stay there. Mayor Mohammed said during the meeting, it has come to my attention that the police have been called because there is an allegation by the commissioner that I have a weapon on me, particularly that I have a gun on me. Because of the report, police were called to the commission chambers to investigate Jacobs' false claims. So with that, I'm going to allow the chief to search my purse on the record so that everyone can see, the mayor said. Now, you done broke up there's only so much time for the meeting, Commissioner. You don't stop the meeting with your lies. And now I have to allow a man to go through my purse? Or is it a woman there? Still, why do I have to prove that you're lying? You're just believed, I guess. And the cops showed up. They also said, you called them. Because of the report, according to Local 10 News, Pembroke Park Police Chief R.A. Shanna Dabney Donovan told commissioners after conducting the search, quote, as a police chief, as a police officer, when I hear certain alert words, I had to come and disrupt the meeting. So I apologize for the disruption of the meeting. It's okay, Chief, but do you understand? Did he really have reasonable suspicion to believe this, or can we kind of move forward with a false police? Is there something that we could do here? I should go to law school. Dabney Donovan conducted a search of Mayor Mohammed's purse and person, first privately and then in public setting, to be transparent. As she debunked the firearm claim, the mayor willingly acquiesced to the search to prove she did not have a weapon, but went on to blast the commissioner, no pun intended, for leveling false accusations against her just to malign her character. Mayor confronted Jacobs saying, quote, you've gone around telling people I've stolen money. You've gone around telling people I'm going to jail, the mayor said. You've lied and accused people of having affairs on this dais, and it needs to stop. We're constantly being beat down by one person on this stage. You are trying to lies told in the broadcasting world. It's all the same. I just keep doing what I'm doing. And the mayor is too. How about that? I think it's ridiculous, Mohammed said about his accusation of her having a gun. At this point, you need to seek professional help or be ordered to, is what I insert. Jacobs, who had announced during that meeting that he'd called the sheriff's office but didn't offer the attendees a reason for his call, had nothing to say in response to Mohammed's denunciations of him. So you let all those people think, I don't know, what is he calling in terrorism? What do you tell us? If we're all in danger, if she has the gun and you're worried, should you tell us? Or you just sat there with your mouth shut? You do all your talking in the dark behind people's backs. Okay. The two had gotten into a heated argument earlier in the meeting about his ability to control himself and follow the set rules for speaking. Jacobs has referred the press to his lawyers for any questions about the November 8th episode. Did your lawyer call the police or did you? The audience was packed with police officers, but for some reason he claimed he had a credible fear for his life from me and that I had a firearm on me, Mohammed later said to WSVN, adding, this isn't his first allegation against me. He's filed numerous reports with the Ethics Commission, the state attorney, the Office of Inspector General has been consistent for 3 years of just countless baseless allegations. According to his critics, this is not the first political antic the former mayor has launched to get under the skin of his political foes. This year, city officials commissioned an independent investigation into Jacobs over complaints he engaged in such toxic discourse that caused some of the town's department heads and other commissioners to resign rather than work with him while he was mayor of the town. Is he related to Jim Jordan? It sounds like behavior this is what it sounds like. Okay. These are these ridiculous antics and tactics. Same time, at that meeting where Mohammed's bag was searched, he called for town clerk Marlene Martell to be suspended without pay, accusing her of sending an anonymous letter to the press and commissioners to show that he had done unpermitted work on his home after being cited. Although the investigation into Jacobs was found he created a hostile, volatile, toxic workplace, according to WLPG. He's still permitted to serve as a commissioner for the people who elected him. Well, this is quite foolish. And when you continue to go this far, I think, Mayor, that there is a time where you got to get sued. You're disrupting town business. You're disrupting my life. These are baseless allegations. Again, I should have gone to law school. I didn't, but there's got to be a statute, Mayor, where we can hold you. The town should hold you accountable. The people who elected you should hold you accountable. You have loose lips and not a shred of evidence. You're behaving like a fool.
Like a fool, like a Karen, whatever you want to call it. Like this segment could have been in Karen, right?
You're right.
Also, like, or wasn't the red state hell because it is Florida. This is Florida man, right? Like, but here's the thing: we know exactly what the problem is. This guy used to be the mayor. This black woman is doing the job. He's pissed about it, and this is how he behaved, like a 3-year-old. The disgusting part about this is, I would love to see their town charter that for removing a councilman, because somebody has to be like, this is enough. This is absolutely ridiculous. And then, even in Florida, a state where you can kill people for nothing, the stand your ground state of states, you're calling a police officer because the mayor allegedly has a gun. Their governor just signed in law this year that you could carry concealed weapons without permit. So even
I have a question, Mayor. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Is that law for blacks too, or I was just asking for.
Yeah, gun laws have never been for black people. People might not want to talk about the history of it, but the Second Amendment came as a offer to poor white people, never to ban with black people again. Even the right to marry was one of those laws that were given to white people, poor white people, so they wouldn't ban with poor black people and attack the system, the status quo. So you're absolutely right. Gun rights have never been for black people. And the only time NRA and other white or gun right orgs got together and said no to black people having guns, people need to think about it, was when the Black Panthers and Ronald Reagan was governor of California. They actually got together when the Black Panthers showed up with guns to the state house and passed gun restricting laws, and the NRA were in favor of that. So we already know that those laws were not for black people. And I think this is disgusting. No, this is a disgusting show of whiteness. And people need to understand whiteness has nothing to do with all white people. It has everything to do with this idea that white people operate and exist in a space that's superior to everybody else. This man sitting up there with nothing to say should have been handcuffed and carried out of that meeting for that false claim, where you wasting police resources in Broward County, which people should know is the blackest county in Florida, right? This is where people are showing up. Like you're wasting police resources in a space to do nothing but create terror on black bodies.
Yeah, I cut my teeth. I work for SVN, WSVN down there as a reporter, and I know the area well. And here's why I satirically reference Jim Jordan. It's the tactics here, Mayor. If you want to be a jerk and block everything, all the legislation she wants, whatever, all the policies she wants to implement, I guess that's your right. But we're not even talking about that. Benghazi, Eric Holder, contempt. We're talking about January 6th. We're talking about this extracurricular devilishness. If you don't look like me, if I didn't get the role, whatever it is, whatever the motivation is, I'm going to stop all business. I'm going to shut down the government. This is why I reference what's his face, who used to be the wrestling coach. We're still going to reference it. Not good. Give you the last word.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think it's impossible. I think it's impossible and also ahistorical for us to try to separate Jim Jordan's behavior and these other people who behave this manner. I don't even know anything about this councilman, but I bet you he's a registered Republican. To behave in this manner is to be what the Republican Party has become in this country right now. And the sad part about that is, while I am not a Republican, I think we need a functioning Republican Party so as to make this thing we call a two-party system operate properly, but we don't. We have these people who, if they don't get their way, they'll stop all business, all manners of business to affect people's lives. And I think that is beyond sad, which is why I said people need to be looking at the town's charter or that city's charter to see how they remove this person, because he definitely isn't doing the bidding for people that elected him. He's simply out here exacting revenge on folk.
Yeah, well, that's the new Republican Party. And if there's not going to be any more Jack Kemp or John McCain, Mitt Romney, then I'm fine. If you want to make it a two-party system, then you could do Democrats and then progressives or something. Just try something new. Maybe that'll work. The country can head in a different direction.